In this video, we're going to talk about creating tables in KB articles in ServiceNow. First thing we're going to do is, of course, open up our KB article that we want to edit. And what I'm going to do is go down to the edit box, the article body, and I'm going to click this full screen mode so that it brings up a bigger view of my editor. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to recreate this table here. So what I'm going to do is put the cursor right after that table and just hit the space bar several times and then move the cursor up. I'm going to create a new table, and the table is 7 columns wide. So I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to do 7 columns wide. I'm not going to do all the columns down at this point because we'll do that at a later step. Okay, so now you'll see that goes completely across the screen, all 7 rows. That's not what we want. I don't want it to take up the whole width of the screen. I only want it to take up about 40% of the screen. So next thing I'll do is go into table properties and just make sure that the table is selected when you do this. And I'm going to say this is actually 40%. All right. So now that we have that set, the next thing I want to talk about is the alignment on the left here. You'll note that everything's left aligned here, and that's aesthetically not very appealing. So we want to bump this over by 40 points. And I say 40 points because if you use the increase indent tool that they have, it will move text over 40 points every time you use the indent. So we're going to slide this table over 40 points. Unfortunately, you can't do that using their indent tool. It doesn't work for whatever reason. So what we have to do is, again, we go into the table properties, or go into table and then go to table properties. Okay, we're going to go to the advanced tab. Then in here there's a style box that contains a bunch of text in it. And we're going to add some styling information to this. And what we're going to add is this. Okay, so what I've added, I'll highlight it in blue here. It's margin dash left colon space 40.0 point semicolon. We add that right onto the beginning, and you can see the effect of that is it slides this over 40 points, and it will actually line up with these other things that are set up on the on that same tab stop. So now that we've got that completed, the next thing we want to do is put borders around everything so that our table actually has lines. So what I'm going to do is, with the cursor blinking, you can see it blinking here in the left side here, I'm going to hold the Shift key down and use my right arrow key to select all the fields all the way across. Okay, with those selected, I'm going to go to Table Properties. I'm going to set the border to 2. I want the border to be 2 pixels wide. Okay. Then I'm going to go to Cell Properties. Then we're going to go to Advanced. And I'm going to say that we have a solid border style here. I'm going to click OK. And then click outside. Now you can see that my table is now solid as opposed to just dashed lines. Okay, from here we are going to again go to the leftmost column, shift and use the right arrow to select everything again. we'll note that everything up here, I think, was intended to be, I mean, it looks like it's right justified, but I think centered would be a better choice here. So I'm going to select all those and I'm going to say centering. Okay, and you'll note that now the cursor shows up in the center of all the columns. Okay, from this point, I think we're ready to actually create the rest of the table. So you can put the cursor in the last column here and just hit the tab key. And that's going to create a new table for you. Tab across. There's our third. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now I'll start filling this in. Okay, so at this point, I've typed everything in and hopefully have not made too many typos. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get our font correct. So we can go to the upper left table or column and row. So go to the cell in the upper left-hand corner. We can use the right arrow key to shift to the right while holding the shift key. Use the arrow key to go to the right to select the top row. When you get to the rightmost edge, then you want to use the down arrow key to select the rest of the table. So now I've got everything selected. Now I can change my font. So I'm going to go to Times New Roman and 12 point. Okay, so now a couple things I'm going to want to do to touch this up. Uh, First of all, maybe the top row I might want to be bolded. So I can go ahead and again put up cursor in the upper left hand cell, shift, hold the arrow key to select that top row, and make that bold. So that all looks good. Next thing I might want to do is also do the same thing here where I want to make all this bolded as well. All right. Once we've done that, some other things I might want to do would be to, I think these X's were meant to be at the top. So what I'm going to do is put the cursor right after the X, and I'm going to hold the Shift key and hit Enter. It's important to do that. If you just hit Enter after that, it's going to put what's called a paragraph break instead of just a regular line break, and it'll put extra space in there. So Shift Enter, or Shift Enter will give you just a paragraph or a line break, not a paragraph break. And I think that about covers it for what I wanted to share with this short video. So hope this helps.